Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Welcome back, everybody, to the QuiverCast. This is Mike, your host, and this is all brought to you by YourAudioLegacy.com and QuiverBuilder.com. And please check out my other podcast, The Stinky Booties, I do with my buddy, Billy. Let's roll. All right, everybody. Hello. This is Mike here with the QuiverCast, and we have a very, very special guest here in Oceanside, California. Can you see the ocean there, Mike?
Yeah, if you stand up.
That's what I thought. Okay. So
That's why we got these high chairs back here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We got Mike Davis originally from Long Beach here to join us today. How you doing, Mike?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Just hanging out. Oh, yeah, no problem.
What got you into surfing?
What got me into surfing? Wow, that's a good one.
And do you remember before you surfed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick.
So before I surfed, let's see, like how far back do you want to go?
I don't know, whatever you want to talk about.
I was
A little kid.
a little kid. Okay, so I was born at LA County General, and then my dad was a jazz musician, and my mom was an 18-year-old kind of lost soul, you know?
Okay.
And so they had me really super young, and we lived down in Venice, California for a long time.
Oh, rad.
Back when it was like super ghetto and you could afford to live there.
Yes.
And so my dad was like a jazz musician, and he would jam with all kinds of different bands back in the day that later went on to become super famous.
Okay, like what bands?
Which he did it.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, Jim Keltner, he used to play with Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Okay, I heard of them, yeah.
Joe Cocker and like hippie bands and jazz bands and stuff like that. So
And what year is this, like 60s?
yeah, I was born in 62, so I was probably like 64, 65.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so he just musician.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just like lived his life for playing that saxophone.
Oh, rad. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you go from Venice to where?
So then we lived in Venice for a while, and then
And what do you remember of Venice? Anything exciting? Just a little kid.
just place was awesome for a little kid.
You liked it?
know? Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, right.
It was just like our front yard was sand, you know, and it was like super ghetto back then. But you're a little kid, you don't know.
Right.
And I remember going to the beach and body surfing, and there was like warning signs all over the beach saying, you know, watch out for underwater obstacles, because I think they just tore down the POP pier. Or maybe it was still up. There was like rebar under it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The old Dogtown days.
Yeah. So I used to body surf down there, and it was awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So that's when you're familiar with the ocean, like from birth, basically.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I always loved the ocean, yeah. And then after that, I don't know, like how far you want me to go.
What happened next?
So what happened next was my dad was like the beatnik jazz guy.
Okay.
And he was like didn't want to work like a lot of us.
Okay.
And so to finance his whole jamming and being a musician and everything, he was selling heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was selling it, and he was doing it, and he was a freaking mess. But he's a musical genius, but he was a mess. And so my mom was just like, she was just trying to, you know, she's young, 18. I mean, that's way too young.
How old was your dad? How much older than you?
He's probably a couple of years older. He's like 21 maybe.
He's still a kid too, though.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So he's having all kinds of issues, and he gets the word that the FBI's after him because he's pulling in heroin from across the border and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. My mom told me this story about how they would take me to LAX and put packs in my diapers.
What?
And push me out.
No way.
Yeah. And that was really dumb, but
they're kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good.
They were confused. They were kids, but that's what they did. So
yeah.
So anyway, it
worked.
He finds out that the FBI, the FBI's after him, and there's this one scene where like my mom's like cleaning out the house and going crazy and just vacuuming and just trying to get rid of any trace, because back then anything, like even weed, was like a major problem.
Yeah.
So she's just going nuts, and she runs out to the street with all these bags, and this is like windy road, you know, and she's out there trying to throw the trash, and the trash man's coming up the street, And the FBI is running up the street going, no, take it.
Oh, really?
And my mom's standing there, she's just a young, and then the trash guys are a couple gnarly dudes, and they're just looking at it. They look at her, they look at the FBI, and they're just, give me the trash.
Rad.
And they get the guys are just like, damn it.
Oh, my God. So, and you remember that?
I know my mom told me the story.
Right.
Like, she had me rolling. Sometimes she would tell me stuff like, and I'd be like, dang, that's crazy.
Wow.
But I mean, if you tried to get it out of her, she wouldn't tell you. But if she wanted to tell you, she would tell you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So then after that, he took off and he told me the story. I recently, became friends with him again. It was a long estrangement.
Yeah.
But he told me the story about how when he did leave, he was trying to kick heroin and he was running from the FBI. So he gets on a Greyhound bus. I don't know why he decided to go to New York, but the bus was going from here and was stopping in Louisiana, and then it was going all the way. And he died. He's a Mexican guy, and dyed his hair. Tried to dye his hair blonde. But you know what happens when we dye hair?
It's kind of orangish.
It turns orange. So he's trying to be all low key. He's got this orange hair, and he's in the bus, and he's like shaking because he's trying to
withdrawals.
Yeah, and then they pull the bus over, and they're looking around. He's like, "Oh man, I thought for sure I was busted," and they just let him go. But
he lucked out.
Oh yeah.
So he made it to New York, and he got okay.
Yeah, he made it to New York, and he started jamming. He played in clubs in like CBGBs, and
really,
and he played with a lot of he played backup for a lot of like soul bands. Like I'm gonna forget what he said. Like, was it Otis Redding and like big names, like when they had horn sections,
Yeah.
And he played for a lot of those guys.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So he's doing good now?
Yeah, now he's doing good. Now he lives in New Jersey. He still kind of jams in little cafes and stuff. And the amazing thing is that guy freaking lived. He lived. And he just treated his body like crap. When you're a heroin addict, your lifespan is not that long.
Okay. I mean, but you're saying like, did he live, he had a good life? Like
I mean, just lived.
Just survived.
His life didn't sound like it was that fun.
Oh. I mean, how you're partying and you're playing in like concerts and or shows. That's a good life.
See, he ended up moving to New York, and then he started a family over there.
Oh.
And then this is just gnarly, man. So I got a brother and sister in New York that I finally met. Not too long ago.
Okay.
But their mom got murdered in New York. Some guy shot her, and so he had to raise those two.
Wow.
Trying to be a jazz musician in Manhattan. So they had a rough life, man.
Okay.
And those two went on to be like super legit.
Okay.
Yeah, like my sister's like a teacher, and my brother's like a professor of philosophy at Columbia.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So how do you feel about your dad and all what happened? He was just...
It's life, man.
Okay.
People are people. People make mistakes. I don't hold anything against them. You know what I mean? Could have been me. Could have been me. Could have been anybody.
Okay.
What are you going to do? And when you get older, you realize your parents aren't perfect.
Yeah,
I don't care who they are. And they, they all got problems, and he just had an extra dose of problems.
Was he able to kick the heroin on the bus trip or no?
I don't.
You don't know?
You know what?
Yeah, that's fine.
Knowing a heroin addict, I don't think he did. He probably kicked it for the trip just because it's too hard to get.
Yeah.
And then once he probably got to,
I don't know. Louisiana seems like New Orleans or something.
Oh, yeah.
Probably score there.
It's everywhere.
Okay.
You just sniff around long enough.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about my the brother is when I finally met him, he was telling me this crazy story about when he was living over here up in San Francisco, and he was like a mess too. He was like a wild child, and he went on to like him and his friends like conceived of this heist where they're going to steal art.
Really?
Yeah, he was nuts, and so they break into this art museum.
Oh, so they went for it.
They went for it.
Oh, shit.
And they steal all this rare art. He told me this story, and he goes, he's like, we couldn't sell it. It was too rare. We couldn't.
Oh, he actually did it.
They got it, and they stole it, and they got away, but they couldn't get rid of it because like, I'm not touching that. What am I going to do with that? I mean, I don't know what it was, but it was like rare art, and they're like, oh my God, we're screwed. And one of them told on the other one, and he ended up going to prison. He ended up going to prison, and for a long time. And then he got out, and while he was in prison, he was studying philosophy.
Wow!
So then he gets out, and he gets a scholarship from some program in New York. He moved back. I guess he moved back to New York to be with his sister.
Okay.
And he gets a scholarship, and then he goes on to become professor of psychology.
Oh, that's rad.
In Colombia. And so these kids that are learning from him, they have no idea what kind of gnarly
You don't
guy
think he shares that?
I hope not.
I think he should.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Give him some insight.
All right. So now you're out of Venice. Where do you go next?
So we're out of Venice. And then, let's see, my mom has a nervous
Just you and your mom at this point, right?
Yeah, it's just me and my mom. She has a nervous breakdown, tries to kill herself. She goes to Camarillo.
Wow.
Yeah, she goes to Camarillo. And then, so then my parents, her parents on her side of the family, they're just trying to like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
So
what do you do?
Yeah. So my step grandfather was like LAPD. LAPD back in the day was gnarly. So he did not like me. He didn't like me. He didn't like my dad, because he's a white guy. And back then it was like, my dad was just like this low life Mexican guy or whatever.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, so your mom like went off the end.
Oh yeah.
To like the worst person, and her dad's an LAPD guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if there's some kind of weird psychological play there, some revenge. I don't know what's going on there, but
that's funny.
She like picked out the guy that would just destroy him. So anyway, so she gets taken away, and then they're having like a custody battle or whatever. Like they're going to put me up for adoption.
Oh,
and then my step grandmother's like, I don't want this kid in my house. And then my grandmother's like,
so your grandpa's holding a grudge against your mom and your dad.
yeah. And he didn't want to know. He didn't even know me. And then my grandmother, she's just like the bomb. She's just like, we're taking. I don't care what you say. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So they took me in, and then they pretty much raised me for a little while till my mom got her feet back on the ground. And she would come and visit me. And I remember going and visiting her. And I don't know if you ever been to Camarillo back in the day. It was this rows of beds. It's like Cuckoo's Nest or whatever.
Okay.
Kind of remind me of that.
Wow.
As a little kid, I was just like looking at these rows of beds going, oh my God.
So how was your relationship with you and your grandpa?
Eventually, it got good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it got good. And then, you're a little kid. I'm a little kid.
Yeah.
How are you going to hate on me?
Right. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, get like 6-7 months into it, he's playing with me, throwing the ball. It's all good. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So then your mom, what happens to your mom and you now?
So my mom gets out, and this is like straight up like hippie days.
Yep.
And she gets out, and then what happens? And then we move into all kinds of different places in downtown LA. She's like shuffling me here, shuffling me there.
Okay.
And she meets my stepdad, where I got the name Davis.
Okay.
She met him, and then they kind of like shacked up together, and then from there we moved up north.
Okay.
And he was an artist. He was all into, so they did some weird stuff. But then we moved up north, and that was like paradise.
Okay.
Up like north of San Francisco, Sebastopol.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that well.
It's all it's beautiful, man.
Right,
it's just
right,
like complete different from being a little LA kid, Venice, LA.
100% LA kid.
Oh yeah, you just go up there and you're just like, whoa, trees, deers, wow, streams, what?
Yeah, like the forest.
Yeah. So we were up there for a little while. Everything fell through for my stepdad. He had like a business he was going to do or whatever, and they had to move back down to LA. So then we moved back down to LA. We moved to down to Long Beach. You know where Drake Park is?
I do.
Yeah.
What? We have the streets of Drake Park, and that's for like heavy gang activity.
So we moved
to this beautiful environment.
Yes. I'm like little gal kid, and then we move up to. I'm like, oh man, life is good. And boom, right back down. So we're like right behind the RTD bus station.
Okay, I don't remember what's that.
Yeah, it's right by Drake Park.
Okay.
And like one of the first few nights there, I remember just going, damn, because they fire at the buses like 4 in the morning.
How old are you here?
I'm probably like 5th grade.
Okay. So you know what's going on.
Yeah, totally know what's going on. Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
And then like a couple of days into it, these two guys are just fully just beating the crap out of each other on our porch, and the chopper's out there. And I'm like, where are we?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
It's eye-opening.
Yeah. So we lived down there for a while. And I was just all into sports. It was like, they had a park right there. So I'm like, I'm going to learn how to play football. I'm going to learn how to play basketball. Just do whatever I can do. And then my stepdad sets up this art studio for himself. It's made out of like plastic and staples and 1x1s. It's this really rickety thing. And he's got his whole life's work in there.
All right.
And so one of these guys, local gangsters, comes down and they see it and they steal all of his stuff out of there. Just
really?
Useless art. I mean, he's not famous or anything, but it is his life's work.
Yeah.
So they steal it, and then they send him a ransom note like, if you want your art back, meet us here and there. And my stepdad's like, damn, I don't know what to do. So he calls the cops. The cops come and they wire him up. I remember watching him.
You're there.
I was there.
Oh.
They wire him up, and he's just like, he's already pale, but he's like crazy pale. Like, what do I say? What do I do? And like, just follow our lead. And they wire him up, and they go, and he takes his own money, and he's supposed to meet this guy at Drake Park, give him the money, and then they're gonna like give him his art back. So he gives him the money, and then the regular uniform cops told the plainclothes cop, get your hands in the air. Basically, the cops arrested each other while the guy ran away with my dad's money.
No way.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know what was going on. Long Beach PD, huh?
The uniform guy's like, get your hands where I can see him. The other guy's like, what a bust! And my stepdad's sitting there going,
fuck, his money's gone. And his art.
Yeah.
Double whammy.
That's brutal.
Okay. So, at this point, you know the ocean, but you haven't probably been there for a while, right?
No, yeah. At this point, Long Beach was pretty bitching back then. It wasn't gentrifying yet.
Yeah,
so
totally. It was ghetto.
Yeah, and there was like
bad.
weird places that you could go into. They were like frozen in time. I don't even remember the Pike back then.
I did the Pike as a kid. It was almost all done, but it wasn't done yet.
Well, the Pike back then was just frozen. It was just like everybody abandoned it. Like you could never see anything good coming out of it. It was just bikers and old boxing posters from the 50s. It was so cool. So I used to spend my time down there, just cruising around on my bike.
Okay.
And, getting into trouble.
What, 10 years old?
Yeah.
11 years old?
Yeah. And then,
isn't that funny? You can go down there by yourself.
Oh,
like no
everything.
Parental supervision at all.
Yeah, we'd go up by the LA rivers right there. We just drive up and down the LA River on our bikes.
Yeah,
just all day and come back. And it was kind of a rough neighborhood. But
it was real rough.
Whatever. I mean, nobody really bugged us. They all bugged each other. It seemed like.
Okay.
All the hard guys were just fighting with the hard guys.
Yeah, that's true.
You kind of go under the radar.
Yeah.
But that was pretty bitching.
Okay, but right next to the Pike is this wide open beach.
Yeah.
Long Beach.
Yeah. So that didn't really catch my eye till we would go visit some friends in Topanga. My stepdad had friends in Topanga, and
art colony, in the art colony there.
Yeah,
I know exactly. Okay.
Oh yeah, and so we'd go visit them, and they started surfing, and I remember them taking me down to Topanga Point, and they were boogie boarding.
Oh, okay.
And I remember the first wave. I'll never forget this. The first wave I saw my friend catch, it was a bad wave. It was like high tide. It wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
But he caught it, and I was running on the beach alongside while he was riding it, going yeah.
Oh, cool.
And from then on, I was like, I got to learn how to do this.
All right. So that's what you did?
Yeah. Well, then we came back, and then I was going to school at Edison Elementary School. It was like, it's really easy.
Okay.
I don't know what was going on there, but it was just easy. And my mom was like, we got to get him out of here. It's too easy. So they sent me up to Los Cerritos. It was like the richer area of Long Beach. So I had to ride my bike up there, and then you start to meet kids. And then in junior high, I went to Washington.
Okay.
Which was kind of a rough school.
Yeah.
And then from there, they took me out and moved me up to Hughes. And that's where I started seeing all these surfer kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's North Long Beach?
It's like Bixby Knolls.
Bixby Knolls.
Okay. Because at Washington...
Off Cherry?
Yeah. No, let's see. Hughes is off Orange.
Off Orange.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So Washington was like all gangbangers, and it was a different world.
Yeah.
And then you go up to Hughes and all these kids with the puka shells, and they're like, what is this all about? So I started reading books, and like, wow, these guys, I got to get aboard. So over the summer, I just told myself, I'm going to learn how to surf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were these guys real surfers?
Well, that's the thing. So they all had the look, you know.
Right.
They had the shirts. They had the thermal coming out from the surf shirt and the hair.
Spicoli look.
And everybody had their nose sunburned for some reason.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man, I got to learn how to surf. These guys are cool.
But did they surf?
No.
Yes.
They were cougs. Yeah. I spent all summer trying to learn how to surf. I stayed right in the middle of Seal Beach so nobody would see me.
Yeah, there's no one there.
Yeah.
It's a dead, it's
and
not
I was
wave.
I was just whitewater.
That's
cool. Sand, over and over and over. Finally, some older guy walks by me and goes, why don't you go surf the jetty?
Yeah.
And I thought that's where all the hot ripper guys went. You know, I was like, no, I don't know how to surf good. He goes, you can go there.
Yeah.
So finally, one day I go there and I can kind of surf. And I see all these same guys. They're all kooks.
Yeah.
I was like,
all the guys from your school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I got this.
So you were better than them? Or as good?
I was as good, if not better.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you start making friends with them, or?
Yeah, eventually. I didn't really make a lot of friends there. I made most of my friends down at Poly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is junior high. So how old
Yeah.
are you here? Like 14, 13?
Yeah,
12?
yeah, 14.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 is like 9th grade, right? Or no,
Yeah.
that's 10th grade.
Yeah, 10th
14.
grade.
So
Yeah.
13, 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now how you getting to Seal Beach? It's a ways away.
That sucked.
Okay.
Yeah, the bus.
We took the bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. Like,
No,
you
they
get-
wouldn't let us take boards on the bus.
Yeah, it was
We
always
gotta
like
ride
an
a bike.
issue.
Yeah.
Well, there'd be like one bus driver would be like, no board over 6'10", which my board was 6'10", because back in the day,
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, damn. So then I finally got a 6'2", and then it just depended on who you got,
Yeah.
And some guys like, come on.
No, they're
people-
the cool bus drivers.
So you could be like hung up on 4th and Cherry for like hours waiting for a cool bus driver.
Okay. Yeah. So now you're surfing.
Yeah.
And what's going on?
Oh,
So is that your life, or were you doing other things? Sports still?
No, I just eclipsed everything. I was really good at tennis at Drake Park.
Okay.
I don't know if I was really good or maybe I was the only guy playing tennis at Drake Park. But the tennis instructor guy was like, man, you're good. Stick with it. He gave me a racket and gave me all this
Wow.
stuff. Wanted me to do tournaments. And as soon as I got turned on to surfing, I just dropped everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're surfing, you quit everything, all your other
Oh,
sports.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It just took over my whole life.
So what'd your mom and
Yeah.
dad say? What'd they think about it?
They're oblivious.
Whatever.
They're just doing their own thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so my first board was like saved up all this money. You remember Carl's Bait and Tackle? You probably don't remember that.
No, I
Yeah, it
don't.
was this funky little bait shop on Seal Beach Pier, and they had
Okay.
used boards. And I got this board
Really? Yeah, I
for
don't.
$10, and it was a transition era dome deck,
Okay.
scoop nose,
Wow.
single fin, just the worst piece of crap you could imagine.
Do you remember who shaped it, or who
No, it's
made
just
it?
plain. It was just
Okay.
had no name.
Okay.
And I remember I was like so proud. I finally got a board. And I'm
Yes.
walking down Seal Beach Pier, and all the cats that used to hang out by the pier, all the logos are all just
Yeah.
like, "You got ripped off." I was like, "Oh man!" But that
And by
board-
the way, they probably had money because they lived in Seal Beach.
yo, you know they did.
Yeah.
But I rode that board till it died, and I finally got a nice little 6'2" Hannafin.
Oh, okay.
And once I got on that one, I was able to turn, and that was
Progress. You got to
yeah,
progress.
that was a whole new world. That was just like, let's
That's right.
go.
Okay.
Yeah,
So now you're getting into high school and you're surfing.
yeah.
And how much are you progressing? How much are you surfing at that point?
Oh, at that point, I'm surfing as much as I possibly can.
Okay.
I'm catching rides. I'm hitchhiking. Back then, you could hitchhike.
Yep. Okay.
Pretty safe, And yeah, it was just,
Was it multiple rides hitchhiking?
yeah.
Because you're probably 10 miles away.
Oh,
from,
yeah.
from Seal
it was
Beach.
definitely multiple rides. But like you get to, like, I hated Seal Beach because it has its good days, but
It's always blown out.
oh, come
It's
on.
1
dude.
foot.
I mean, you see pictures of it, like, okay.
It gets good.
It does
It
get
has its
it
days.
does get really good, but it's
You need
rare.
swell.
I remember David Sowers.
Yeah.
Like that dude was like, oh, he's always like, hey, got it. He's just everywhere.
Dude, and spazzy.
It just, oh man, and I was just like, damn, I can't wait to not surf here.
Okay, so yeah, David Sowers was always out.
Yeah,
What'd you think of David Sowers? Was he nice to you? Or was he a dick?
he ripped.
He
but,
did rip.
but he treated me like he treated everybody else. Like
Yeah.
an
He was
invader.
fast.
I was an invader.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Or you'd get out like. I remember like getting out the bus and going looking at north, like, oh man, tide's high, kind of sucks.
He's
A
like,
little while-
he talked like this.
Yeah. In a little while, Southside's going to start breaking. I'm just going to chill out. And then I remember walking up on the berm with my board, and all those guys are surfing that right by the, because that would start breaking first.
Yep.
And they'd be like, get out of here. get
Oh,
out."
really? Oh, what a dick. But I do remember David Sowers
Yeah.
well.
But, that coming from Long Beach, that's kind of your initiation. You're not welcome anywhere, so
yeah.
screw it.
Yeah. With that being said, we talked about it earlier. Do you remember the waves at Lake Long Beach when it did break?
I never got good waves in Long Beach. I remember...
Like 8th place, let's say.
Yeah,
That was the...
I remember 8th place, like just crazy short break, just
Yep.
beat the crap out of you. That was back in our punker days where we had Secret Hate was going at the time. We were like, whoa, 8th place is breaking, let's go. We'd put our wedges down and just get body whomped. And
Okay,
even our
yeah.
friends that didn't surf, they'd come down there and then when you're all done, you just, that film.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in that water.
It's all the nasty harbor. Because the harbor, like, LA River just dumps right there.
It just, you gotta like bleach yourself.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a punk band.
Yeah.
Like kind of a popular punk band?
No, not at first.
Not at first.
We were,
And how'd you get in the punk
you know
band?
what's weird? It's like while you're playing, you don't feel like really anybody
Okay.
likes you.
Yeah.
And then later when you break up, everybody's like, oh, you guys were suck.
Yeah.
I'm like, where were you when we were playing?
Well, it was a punk scene. And okay. So you're surfing Seal Beach, you're an
Yeah.
outsider, okay?
Yeah.
Before we go too far forward.
Yeah.
You're at Poly High School.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when does punk come into your life? Why did you get into punk?
Oh, okay. So,
And how does that work with surfing, or is it opposite? I feel like in
that's
that
a good
time
question.
that it was. Well, go ahead. You answer the question.
It was opposite.
Yeah.
It was like something you didn't know. Well, back then the punk scene was LA. LA had it going on.
Okay.
You know, and we were like, it's kind of the same thing with surfing. I mean, we'd mob up from Long Beach, go to LA, and then the LA guys would be like, oh, those guys from Long Beach.
Okay.
You know?
And how many were there of you?
There was quite a few, probably 40.
Really?
Yeah, and then it kind of spread out to the Naples area and the Belmont Shore. And
Yep.
those guys started coming up, and
So they followed you guys.
It was a ton of. It was super fun. It was almost like simultaneous, like I would say.
Okay.
But we didn't really like meet each other till a little bit later.
Okay.
But every night there was bands playing. $3 to get in.
Who were you seeing?
We're talking about X, Plugs, Alley Cats, The Bags. Just the Weirdos. The Weirdos are awesome.
Okay.
You ever heard them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're just that live show. The Weirdos back then, man.
Okay.
I'd put an arm and leg to go see them. They're
Really?
so
Okay.
good. And yeah, every night it seemed like there's somebody playing. We just jam up there. But you're right, surfing and punk was like
They clashed.
it just you just weren't cool if you were surfing.
Okay. Yeah.
You know. So I was just like, I'm not gonna stop surfing.
Okay. Cool.
It's
So-
too fun.
Yeah.
But I did cut off all my hair, you know.
Were you living like two separate lives almost?
Kinda.
Okay.
Kind of. But then after a while, like after a while, we just owned it. We're like, yeah, we surf.
Okay.
So what?
All right.
You
so
know?
let's talk about Secret Hate then.
Yeah.
So now you're seeing all like X and
Yeah.
and all these like the legends of punk.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
beginning of it.
Yeah.
And how did you even get turned on to that scene?
Oh, we saw a Clash and Bo Diddley at
Really?
Santa Monica Civic. That was
Really?
sick. Yeah, that was so good.
So would you consider the Clash like okay? What would be the beginning of punk? Who's the first in your eyes?
For me,
For you.
it was like
What turned you on?
for me it was just like the Pistols were,
Okay.
and they're just, if you listen to their chord progressions and stuff, it's just rock music
Right.
with John Lydon sneering at you.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
But yeah, and then after that, it was just like Crass and. You know,
A little
and
more.
a lot of the LA stuff, and then the Cockney Rejects were super good. Angelic Upstarts, love those guys.
Okay.
And-
And these guys are all before you.
Yeah. They're all like English bands. The Damned was a huge
Yeah. How was
influence.
the Dam? Did you see the Dam live?
Yeah,
$3?
unbelievable. No, probably $5.
Still a deal.
We saw them. Where did we see them? We saw it at the Palladium or somewhere in LA.
Some bigger venues.
Oh
too.
my gosh, such a good band.
Yeah.
Just everything you want them to be.
Really?
Iggy Pop was huge too. We loved going to see Iggy
Okay.
Pop.
How was Iggy Pop?
Iggy Pop's mind blowing. That guy has crazy energy.
So were you seeing these bands like once in a while, or they keep on doing rotation, going to LA, and you're going every time?
You'd see them like probably 2-3 times a year when they would
Okay.
come through.
Right on.
Yeah, those guys were like the core, like Stiff Baiters. Those guys were super good too. Yeah,
Okay, so-
Dead Boys.
How do you make punker friends? And how did you get invited to the first punk show up in LA?
Gosh, I don't even remember. But one of my older friends started listening to all this punk music,
Like Sex Pistols or whatever.
Yeah, PIL and
Okay.
all this funk music. He was like a reggae punk rock. He liked them both. So did I.
Okay.
And he started listening to it, and so then I was like, all right, let's go. I'll go check out a show. And I cut my hair before you left. I had long old hair. I cut my hair.
Did he tell you cut
yeah,
your hair?
He goes, they're going to light your hair on fire.
That's great.
So
So you had to change your look overnight, like
Yeah,
literally.
I really did.
Yeah.
So I cut my hair and we went to the show. I was like, oh, this is amazing. You know, the mosh pit is just going off. And,
Okay.
And back then it was.
Did you ever see anything like that, or even
No.
know it existed?
No, I didn't know you could just lose your mind and it's okay. You know,
Okay.
you could just get out there and just go, ah, and it's like, it was super fun. It was all over. It was all good.
So it was aggressive,
Yes.
but were they nice?
Yeah.
At this point, it was nice still.
Yeah, it was aggressive. It was like full contact. The music was aggro. It was anything goes, beers, whatever. You know, and then,
But no one was trying to like hurt each other.
no.
Okay.
No, for the
So it
most
was
part.
all
That came
fun.
later. Yeah.
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 Okay. All right. So then one day you guys go, I'm going to learn how to play an instrument. Let's start a punk band. Where does that go?
I borrowed a friend's drum set. And that was my first thing. I'd put headphones on and listen to music and try to drum to it. I was like, I love drumming. I was kind of a natural. I was good at it.
Okay.
Like I learned it right away. So then me and some friends got in there and we're playing, and the singer didn't show up, so I started singing.
Wow,
And
okay.
that was it. They're like, you don't get to drum anymore. You got to sing.
You know Phil Collins? You're not doing both?
You got to sing. I'm like, all right, whatever, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're in a punk band, how long did you guys practice before you get your first gig? And how did you get your first gig?
We practiced, so we kind of migrated from Long Beach down, and some of the original members of Secret Hate got a place in Huntington, which was like the perfect place for us to surf and play.
Okay.
You know, not play in Huntington. We'd go to Long Beach to play because Huntington cops were gnarly. So we would practice in their little apartment.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where, and then we got our first gig was like first we'd play like parties. And then
Now, are you out of high school at this point, or are you still? Did you drop
I
out?
bailed, yeah.
Okay.
And then, so we
Or
played
whatever word
the
you wanna
Cuckoo's
use.
Nest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was our first. It was a Wednesday.
We got to talk about this.
It was a
in second.
Wednesday. It was the worst night you could possibly get.
Okay, hold on. We're going too fast.
Okay.
So you're supposed to be in high school, but you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened in high school was when you're like the first punks on the scene, you look weird, and the gangbangers can't really classify you. The lowriders can't classify you.
It's so new.
The freaking sons of bikers can't classify you. Sons of Samoa don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, the SOS guys.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. It's so new that no one knows what you guys are about.
Yeah, like, do you want to fight? Are you gay? Like, what's your deal? I mean,
It's funny.
like, what do you think? So eventually, one of my good friends, I was skinny as a rail back then. I couldn't beat up a fly, but I was always trying.
Yeah.
You know, and my other friend was skinnier than me. He crossed out some cholo riding and he wrote Sex Pistols on it.
Oh,
so I'm walking in. And so the front gate of Poly is like full high security.
Okay.
You know, you had to go in the front gate.
Right.
And then I had these like neon blue socks and straight leg pants and like a leather jacket.
Okay.
My hair is all short. Back then it was weird. So I'm walking in and the cholos they control the front gate and they start yelling. The West Side Longos are like, "Hey, Blue Socks, did you cross us out?" And I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So later I went to talk to my friend. I go, "Did you cross these guys out?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, I just wrote Sex Pistols over it." I go, "They think we're a freaking gang, dude. They want to kill me."
Oh shit.
So he's like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Don't tell him." I'm like, "Well, I think it's me. What am I supposed to do?"
Why were they pointing at you?
Just because
you were so loud?
I looked, I was like just wearing it, you know, and my other friend was just kind of he was being low key, you know.
Okay.
So I'm like, "Oh, great." So I'm not going to jump the dime on him and he'll get killed.
Yeah.
So I just kept trying to ignore him. And then finally, one of them finds out where I live and just blasts my stepdad's truck with a shotgun.
No way. So they were legit after you.
They're freaking want to kill me.
Oh my God.
So they go, "This is just the beginning, Blue Sox."
Does that become your name?
My stepdad's like, "What are you into?"
Well, he knew where he was living.
So I'm
by
like,
the way.
"Oh man, I'm really sorry about that." He pellet blasting the side of his truck.
Oh shit.
And then like a couple days later, boom, boom, 38 right through his toolbox. I'm like,
oh my God.
so I got to move out. I'm going to get my family killed.
Oh my God.
So I moved out and went down to Huntington and stayed with those guys. And
Now, why Huntington? And is that just to get as far away from Long Beach as you could?
no, it's because the only people I knew that had like a job and a place to live was Rick and Kevin, our bass player and drummer.
Okay.
From original lineup. And they said, "Just come stay with us."
Okay.
Yeah, before I get killed. But so in this whole transition was this bizarre scene where I was carrying like a buck knife in my Chippewa boots, and you know, it's just
Right.
like
You're looking over your shoulder all the time.
all the time. Yeah. So we go in there, and finally, I was just so over the pressure. I'm like, they're going, "We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that." I'm like, "Let's do it. Let's just do it." So we go to the back. We all file out. You know how high school is.
Yeah.
We all file out to the parking lot in the back of Poly High, and there's all these cholos and all this stuff. And it's just me and Mark Smith. This is my friend, an old friend of mine, Mark Smitty. We're sitting there, and one of my other friends was with me. He just kind of melts away. I don't blame him at all. And Mike Smitty goes, "I got a pin." Okay. We're about to get destroyed.
By West Side Longos?
Yeah, I'm like, "You can leave if you want, dude. This is my beating."
Okay. And they're not going to fight you one-on-one.
No, they were gonna kill me.
Yeah.
So then the one guy comes in,
Sketchy.
he goes, "I should punch you right through the fence." And I'm like, "Just do it. Get over it." Like,
Yeah.
they thought I was being brave. I was just over it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I knew I was about to
Exhausted.
take my lumps. And so while they're all like facing off with me, all of a sudden I see guys in the background like just kind of shuffling away. I'm like, "What's going on? How come they're leaving?" And I look behind me, and all these Crips are coming up, crossing the football field.
No way.
They're crossing the football and they're throwing out gang signs and so like they're all leaving, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And they finally come up behind me, And one guy goes, looks like you need a friend. And I'm like, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get in the middle of this. I just want to end it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you need a friend. And they start climbing the fence. And then me and Smear was like, we're out of there. And that was like pretty much the last day of school.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So was it, you don't have to say, was it like Insane Crip Gang or something? Or, I don't know.
It was Crips, but I don't know what affiliation it was.
Yeah.
It was Crips.
Did you know these guys? Like, did you recognize them?
No, I seen him at school.
Yeah.
And then like a few days later, I was like, hey man, thanks for that. And then he goes, fuck you. It wasn't about me, man.
No, it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
They're just looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, I was just like, I'm down not getting anywhere here, man.
Dude, see how sketchy Long Beach is? I don't think it's like that anymore.
I don't know.
Be.
You know
Some
what's weird though? If you think about it, that was before all the guns.
Yeah. But they were shooting your car.
They were shooting my car, but they didn't like shoot each other right then. It was like a lot of fist fights and
that's
knives
fine.
and yeah. But
yeah, you'd get hurt, you wouldn't get killed.
Yeah. From what I remember, I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But I don't remember a
I
lot
was
of
trying
guns.
to stay away from all that stuff.
Oh yeah, me too. I just got freaking swallowed up by it.
Okay, so you go to Huntington Beach.
Yeah. So I go to stay with them.
At this point, you're in the band. Or there's the band formed
it's
already.
It's forming, yeah.
Yeah, it's forming.
We have like 3 songs. We're playing over and over. And you know how that is. Like your friends come and go, oh, it's cool, but it's really not cool. You're not anywhere on the level. You know?
Yeah. Are you playing covers too?
No, we could never play covers because I could never remember anybody else's lyrics.
I gotcha.
As much as they wanted to.
Right.
I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I can barely remember my own lyrics.
Yeah.
You know?
So is punk changed at this point too, or is it still kind of the same, kind of fun?
Well, it's super fun, but it is changing because we're starting to make our mark now. Like Long Beach is getting some bands. Rhino 39 was a really cool band from Long Beach, and then the Huntington area, Orange County area, there's like Adolescents. All those kind of bands are coming up, and they're really good and super fun to watch.
Yeah.
So that part was changing. They're pushing into the LA scene,
but the music was also changing, wasn't it? A little bit?
Yeah.
Get a little heavier, a little faster.
A little heavier, a little faster. Yeah, you're right.
Kind of like, which does that, well, anyhow, you tell us.
What?
Does that change the scene on this? And there's more guys becoming punkers?
What happened? Yes. It seemed like overnight. That was a weird thing. I remember going to a Cramps at Santa Monica Civic and all these neon, because back then, I don't know what was going on in Newport or whatever, but they're all wearing neon and buzzing their heads and dyeing it blonde or whatever.
Okay.
It's just what I remember.
Right.
And I remember them like jumping up on stage when the Buzzcocks were playing and just like, what are they doing? I want to see the Buzzcocks.
Right,
Why are they up? They just swarmed the stage.
And they were just causing trouble.
Yeah, it seemed like overnight, that's what like big push kind of changed things.
All right, so now you go to your first gig, and you said the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yeah.
Now this is a full. At this point, were they playing a lot of punk bands already, or were they just kind of starting?
No, it was just starting, and
so this is the very
Huntington was
beginning.
not friendly.
Okay.
To punkers.
And there was a country bar across the street, right?
Oh my God, those guys were gnarly, man. They would
country guys.
I feel like they would just drink whiskey and then want to fight.
Against you guys.
And they're like men, and we're all like teenagers.
Yeah.
It's just like you didn't have to do anything. Like you just go take a piss around the side, like hey. I'm not even looking at you, man.
Oh, that's funny. and they're wearing like shit kickers, and it's Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
I guess there was a few farms, horses, like maybe.
Barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing cowboy boots and cowboy hats, and I'm like, what are these guys?
From
to me, they looked weirder than we did.
Of course. Yeah, tight jeans, Lee's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a hostile environment. But yeah, we went
And
there.
you guys share a parking lot? Did they share a parking lot?
Yeah. Yeah, it was bizarre, man. Oil
weird.
and water, dude.
Yeah.
So we played on a Wednesday because that's when all the kooky bands played, and
Okay.
we tried to get all our friends to go. And
Do you remember who you played with? Did anybody?
I don't remember.
significance? Okay.
It might have been like Shattered Faith, or we were all kind of starting at the same time.
Gotcha.
So we all kind of sucked. But I remember playing, and it was cool. And then once we got out to the parking lot, we're like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Because the cops pull you over, you're done. They'll either beat you up or those rednecks will beat you up. And it's like,
So even though you're not in Long Beach, you're still looking over your shoulder.
Exactly. But funny story about living in Huntington at that time. We're getting better. We're getting more and more songs. We're getting better.
Okay.
And there's this guy named Alabama Jay. I don't know if you know him.
No.
But he was a real good skateboarder. I think he still skateboards, and he's friends with Christian Hosoi and all those kind of guys. Anyway, we just knew him as Alabama Jay back then.
All right.
And his hair is just like spiked out like this, and he's got this old Dodge Dart just like barely running.
Yeah.
And we're like going through Huntington. We're all just punkers in the car, Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one of the girls gets up, and there's like these rednecks in the back with the El Camino's like, and she flips them off. We're like, "What did you do that for?"
Oh shit.
And then they pull up alongside of us, and another girl throws a beer bottle at him. We're like,
Oh,
"No!"
shit.
So we're like going on a slow speed chase through Huntington Beach because the Dart can't beat anything.
Yeah.
And we're like, and he's just like blocking them off every time they try to pass us.
Funny.
And one of the guys sticks his head up through the sunroof, he's like throwing wrenches at us. And I'm yelling to Jay, "Go to the cop station!" And then Jay's like, "Why?"
Yeah.
So we're just like probably 30 miles an hour all through downtown Huntington Beach. And we finally pull up. Rick jumps out, opens the garage, we pull the thing and we run upstairs and we're looking, and you can see him like looking for us. We're like, shh. That guy's a pastor of a big old church now in Orange County.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny.
That's funny.
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah.
so what part of Huntington you live in?
We're right there on Nashville, kind of like south side of the pier,
Okay.
a few blocks back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you surfing there now?
Oh, yeah.
So in between the practices in the apartment,
Yeah.
you're getting surfing.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, it was fun.
And how was that leaving Seal Beach and getting good waves?
It's like heaven.
Better waves, at
It was
least.
like heaven. Especially on Santa Ana days.
Oh,
you just freaking
yeah.
lose your noodle.
Yeah. So you waking up and checking the surf? And
Oh, yeah. It
Okay.
was super cool.
No
And
job.
No job. I mean, I'm sure those guys are getting sick of me laying in the couch.
But you're surfing and you're in the band.
Yeah, so hey.
Perfect.
What do you want?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so at this time, for somehow Tony Alva and Mark Alva and those guys were starting to come around and hang out with us, and they started a band. And I remember surfing with Tony, being like, "Hey, let's go. Waves are good. Let's go." And I'm crossing the street with Tony Alva, and I'm like, "Hey, it looks good, man." And he goes, "Yeah. Sometimes I'm better than the waves themselves."
Is he full of himself?
I'm like, "Shut up."
Is that what you're saying? He's full of himself?
No,
well-
he's a super cool guy, but that's the funniest thing I've ever heard anybody say.
Yeah, that is funny. Okay. So I misconstrued what you said, but okay.
Yeah, he's a cool
So
guy.
you good friends? Or were
No,
you back
we're
then?
not. We were back then. We hung out a lot.
Okay.
And he was in a band, and he's in a band. What was it? Mark was in a band called the Ozzy Hairs. They were super good. Emil went on to play with Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
He used to drum with them. He's in that movie they did with the van. I forgot what it's called, White Van or something like that.
Okay.
But he's
I'm
a
not familiar
great
with that.
drummer. He started with Ozzy Hairs.
Okay.
Him and Mark Alva. That's Tony's brother. And they were super, super good.
Wow.
I loved watching that band.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like an inspiration to us.
Okay. So, and who are some of the guys at Huntington you were like surfing with? Besides Tony Alva?
Just friends. Yeah, just nobody
Okay.
famous. Just
Who was like, were you like right at the pier? Or are you walking down Lake Street and surfing Lake Street? Like where?
I kind of avoid
Kind of
the-
off to the side?
Yeah, I avoid the pier.
Okay.
You know, I remember when I was at Grom, one of my first days at the pier, I kind of left into the pier on Southside, and my leash wrapped around one of the pier pilings.
Wow.
I freaked
Worst
out.
case scenario.
Yeah, I freaked out. I took the leash out and swam in.
Okay.
And then one of the older guys goes, "You gonna get your board?" I'm like, "I don't know."
You scared.
I was scared.
Oh, that's funny.
He went and got it for me. That was super cool.
And now what year are we talking? Where are we at here? This is like 1980s.
80s, 81.
Yeah, okay, early 80s.
So we're getting better. And eventually we moved back to Long Beach.
Okay. So how was that? Like, so you're surfing all the time. Now you
Yeah.
go back to Long Beach.
Yeah. Moving back to Long Beach. But at this point, I'm surfing a lot. And, you know,
Do you have a car yet or anything?
yeah, I got a
Okay.
little Datsun B210.
All right.
That thing got me to the beach a lot. I would just go to like the if it's a good south,
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to the Long Beach side of the jetty and walk out there and just jump in, surf the jetty.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like Barracudas you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, so we got a house in Long Beach. We all shared a house in Bixby Knolls area, and then we shared a house on 7th Street on ramp downtown Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And then we shared a house downtown Long Beach. It's like a bike shop, Long Beach Boulevard.
Okay. So,
Yeah, so there's 3 different places that we lived.
and then downtown off 7th Street, that's heavy.
Yeah.
So Bixby Knolls is kind of nice.
Yeah. We bummed that place out.
Oh, you got kicked out, probably.
We had one of the biggest gigs ever, like including probably Olympic Auditorium. We played there, but this was crazy, man. There was just kids from everywhere showing up, and we played. Cops shut it down, and we finally got kicked out.
Okay, so how is your name getting around? You guys already have an album at this point, or are you making an album?
No, we don't. We're practicing on the west side of Long Beach.
Okay.
And we're living in Long Beach. We're getting tighter and getting better. We're getting more songs.
Playing gigs.
Yeah. So the people that shared our practice place was the Minutemen. You ever heard of the Minutemen?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So
is that like Mike Watt?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we were practicing with them, and they were like noticing that we were getting better. And then finally, Mike Watt came up and goes, "Why don't you go put it on a record?" We're like, "All right, you want to do it?" And they're like, "Yeah." So that's where we recorded the Green record with New Alliance, which is Minutemen's label, Saccharine Trust, all those bands.
All right, rad.
Yeah. And then Spot was like, he produced it. He produced a lot of like Black Flag and stuff like that.
Okay. One question I just thought of, and I can't believe I lived actually right down the street from there. How are your albums getting dispersed? You weren't getting in like the Music Pluses and stuff.
No.
Zed Records?
Zed and New Alliance had like a network of record shops. They had it all dialed. I never, even to this day, I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Do you still have those albums?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't have a green one.
Really?
No,
Are you bummed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have any. I really don't have any of our music.
Really?
It's all out there.
It's all on Spotify.
On the internet.
So you guys can all check out Secret Hate on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
And probably Amazon too, even actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's cool. All right. So,
So that first record, that was the Minutemen. They helped us put that out.
Right.
And then I remember the first gig was at I think it was the Olympic Auditorium.
so that's big. Were you opening up for somebody?
Yeah, we were opening up for the Addicts and some other bands, some other really good bands. But anyway, that was like the biggest audience I had seen up until then. And I remember like going out there and singing the first song, and it's just all these people and these kids were sitting on stage and they knew the words.
Wow. How'd that feel?
That blew me away. Just that one simple thing, seeing a kid singing along with me, knowing all the words. I was like,
Wow.
damn,
That's
that's so cool.
Yeah.
That really stoked me out.
So is that like a pinnacle of your life, maybe? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of
Of my
people think that.
musical life.
Musical
yeah.
life. Okay,
Absolutely.
there you
Yeah, that was super cool.
go. You'll never
Yeah.
forget it.
No. Just,
Okay.
Yeah, stuck in my
So
mind.
did that motivate you to get better, or what?
Yeah, well,
To drive? Was there a drive?
So it was like we're getting better. We put out a record. We're getting some really good songs. We got all kinds of records on different compilations. Our songs on different compilations that are even better than the one we put on the Green record. They came later, and then what was happening, which was kind of sad, was heroin was kind of like creeping into everything.
Okay.
Heroin is like during this period.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I do want to talk about the heroin.
Yeah.
Are you guys just drinking beer before that?
No.
Oh, okay. We skipped that whole part.
We're doing everything.
Okay,
We're
gotcha.
like.
I didn't know if it's just like
I
overnight.
mean, there was a point where somebody always had acid, and they would spill the microdots on the thing, and we would just go,
Wow.
"Here we go!
All right.
Hang on to your hat, boys!"
Okay, so it was acid first.
Yeah, it was acid first, and then after that, things started to get dark. You know, we started shooting up meth, we started shooting up coke.
Wow.
And then once you start doing that, I know I told you earlier, like surfing saved my life.
Yep.
Because once you start doing that, you can either go like be bingey guy, you know, where you're just going to spin out and go for it. Because you can get that first rush of coke. It doesn't really happen after that. Even if you are shooting it, you have to do more and more.
Yep.
So it's like, you can go chase that forever. But for me, it was always like, I want to surf in the morning.
Thank God, right?
Yeah. Like, I can't do this all freaking night for 2 days in a row, you know?
Okay.
I do it maybe one day in a row. That's about it.
And then your friends were doing it more?
Yeah, man. They were spinning. They were spinning out. So what happened was the music was getting good and our connections were getting good. We were getting big gigs, but heroin and coke and all this stuff was just creeping in on everything. And it was shooting it, which is super bad for you. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I could see it coming. It's like a dark cloud coming on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't take it that way. So, okay, are you saying you quit the band or
Yep.
you just, okay.
Yeah.
So how long, how long did you stay in the band? How long successful was it?
It was like super fun, but it wasn't successful until right up like a year before I quit. Then we started getting successful. We weren't making money, but we were putting records out and we were packing places and it was getting good.
Were you guys headlining?
We never really headlined.
Okay.
We would headline
Was there such thing then in punk shows?
kind of, well, I mean, like it was a big English band or something.
Okay.
You know, one thing I did want to tell you, we played at Godzilla's which is super cool. That's where we saw the dam. There's like a little tiny hole in the wall, and I think it was in the valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Godzilla.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
It's a
it.
super cool club.
Okay.
But I remember when we were like kind of first starting out, Bad Religion they were always over us. They always
Okay.
we were always like the runner up, or either we're starting or maybe we get the second slot. I always like the second slot the best.
Okay.
But you had to wait to get paid. And back then, Bad Religion would play forever. And they're a great band, and
they're totally.
I mean, and they went on to just do great things,
Yes,
and I'm
yeah,
just a
for sure.
drywaller. You know, what do
Yeah.
I know? But
Yeah.
I remember just sitting there going, "Oh my God, they're never gonna stop." We just want to get
You just want your
paid
money and get out.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Okay. Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
So this is early Bad Religion days.
Yeah, way early. I feel like we're all kind of on the same wavelength. We're all kind of like the same. And then those guys stuck out. I was saying, like, if you stay together as a band and you can get along, you're gonna get good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk a little. Let's not leave before you leave the band. All right. So you're basically saying you're a drug addict. Is the whole band?
Oh, I wouldn't.
Oh, not yet. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth. Sorry.
Well, I mean, we're definitely marinating in drugs.
Okay.
But I could go
You
without
could-
it.
Yeah, you can go and you can surf.
Yeah, like
And
if we
literally-
went to Mexico, I would just drink beer and surf.
Okay, cool.
And then we came back, whatever's in front of me, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. But then some friends of mine were just going deep, and they're doing really bad things to get it. And then, it just got dark.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we talked about, at what point was it with you guys or was it after you that the punk got aggressive? And kind of got it like
It was kind of
little
towards
clicky and maybe like skinhead issues.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like little clicks, right?
Suicidal tendencies.
Suicidals.
Those guys just killed it. You couldn't get through a gig without a fight.
Because they bring all their crew.
Yeah, and it wasn't even about the music. It was just like, let's go rat pack this guy. Now let's go rat pack that guy.
Yeah.
And it's always one guy and 40 guys on his back just destroying him. It got lame.
So did that turn you off too?
Oh,
Or-
big time. Yeah, I hated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about?
So that green record? I don't know if you heard it, but it's like a really bad recording. I was pretty drunk, but but a big huge fight broke out then, and that was in Long Beach. That was like our area.
So where'd you play? Fenders?
Did
you play Fenders?
Actually, it was Bruin's Den.
Okay.
Right by Wilson.
Oh,
It was like
yeah,
the rec
Park.
center or something.
The rec park.
Yeah.
You guys used to play there?
We played there.
Wow.
It was big. It was like a whole bunch of people were there. It's like super fun, but it just turned into a huge riot.
I'm surprised they let you. The city owned that.
So I think it was before they knew better.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so do you ever play Fenders on like?
No, that came after.
Oh, it was after. you
Yeah,
guys. Okay.
after we split, yeah, we were just getting better. We were getting tighter. It was all good until this stuff started just moving in, and then
Okay.
yeah,
So now anything else about the band? We're good, right?
yeah.
Okay. So you quit the band. You walk away. What do you do in your life?
So I walk away, and then I'm like, I got to do something. I can't do this. So I learned how to hang drywall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So young.
Yeah, I just started working.
How old are you here?
I'm probably 22, 23.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just started working my butt off, man, and my wife, she was my girlfriend back then. She went through it all with me.
Wow.
Yeah. So we just got married super young and moved to San Clemente.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so your whole life you had waves right around, somewhat nearby.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Had to have it.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, like, surfing saved my life because I just couldn't binge like that. I couldn't surf when I'm freaking jacked up on meth or coke, or the only thing I could surf on was acid. And that was just the funnest thing ever.
All right, tell us about that.
Oh my gosh. You just feel like you're just gliding. You just feel like a pelican.
Wow.
And to surf, like, to be like Johnny CT guy, where you're just like, you just feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I doing? So it would just be like, I remember going out at K55 when it would break good.
Yep.
And I was out all day.
Wow.
Just frying. But I was just linking up these waves and just like section to section to section. And then some guys pile out, I need to know, what's up, man? You've been out all day. And I'm like, I'm frying. They go, figures.
That's great.
So they go back in. They start shooting skyrockets over me like that's going to trip me out. I'm like, come on, man. This is tripping me out. Watching my hands trip. Your skyrockets are stupid.
Oh, that's funny.
So then I go, I'm surfing having all this fun. I'm the only guy out. And I finally walk back up as the sun's coming down. Sun's going down. I'm walking back up. There's like 7 or 8 of us, and we were all frying. But we all went and did our own things.
Okay.
So I'm coming back to the campsite, and then one of the guy's girlfriends, she's got the little guy selling tacos, and she's got an axe for some reason. She has like soot on her face. She had no idea what she looked like.
Yeah.
But she's cutting cheese with this axe with all this soot on her face. And I come up to Cliff and I go,
I'm just frying.
what's happening? Yeah. Is she gonna kill me?
Oh, that's funny.
That was a trip.
So, the good thing is surfing was always there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It always just cleared my head. And I loved surfing sober, unless it was acid. And then I didn't even want to be like stoned and surf. I just, and then the acid, after a while, I was just like, I punched my ticket. I can't do anymore. I feel like in the next trip, I'll never come back,
Were you ever going to punk shows after? Or you just totally walk away from the scene?
I just walked away from it because punk was kind of getting weird. It was like everybody was growing their hair long and doing like blues and
Okay.
like TSOL. It wasn't even TSOL anymore. They're like Joe Wood band or whatever.
Oh, that was like the second
yeah,
incarnation.
but they're like super bluesy and
Yeah.
right.
I'm not going to lie. I like that TSL too.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jack Grisham doesn't, but
I don't know.
yeah, he doesn't.
But
And I think that was like his brother-in-law or something.
really?
Yeah, Joe Wood's like his brother-in-law.
No way.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere.
Oh, that's a trip. Yeah. So.
And by the way, just a footnote, I think Joe Wood plays like every Friday night down here on Coast
No
Highway.
way.
He does.
Oh.
Do you know the guy?
No, I don't know him at all.
Okay.
But I remember like punk rock was like morphing into like a blues, long hair kind of thing.
And I had one more thing. I think it was like Son of the Last Surf movie or Last Surf movie. I don't know if you remember those movies. But that incarnation of TSOL with Joe Wood,
Yeah.
like that was the soundtrack for the album.
Oh,
Or
really?
for the whole surf movie.
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's kind of why I think when you hear like, the Taylor Steele movies where they're playing the song over and over, all of a sudden you like them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's all good.
So
But
you're laying drywall, you move to Sacramento, and your life's just is it surfing?
Yeah, it's just surfing, raising a family. I'm out of it. So we're, I'm doing my thing, raising a family, got kids, and going through, just regular Joe stuff.
Yep.
You lose your house, you get your house back, recession hits, you're doing good, you're doing bad. And then the Sublime song hit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. This part.
Yeah. So out of the blue, I hadn't talked to Kevin, who's our bass player in a long time. He called me and says, hey, do you care if Sublime does this song? And I'm like,
What song?
it was Ballad of Johnny Butt. It was like a throwaway song. It was like a reggae song.
But did you ask what song?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good point. As a matter of fact, I remember thinking, why do they want to do that song?
Okay.
Because that was like a throwaway song for us to catch our breath, and if Rick's got cramps, he can kind of slow down. Yeah. And so they did it. They redid it. I'm like, I don't care. Who cares? None of our music ever went anywhere.
Yeah.
And then he comes back a couple of weeks later. He goes, "We need to get a lawyer."
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they go, their album's going triple platinum or something like that. Yeah. So that was cool. So we got a lawyer and got all kinds of royalties. And,
Really?
Yeah. It was just
How rad is that?
get out of here. So I was able to buy a house and.
Off that song?
Yeah.
No
I
way.
was struggling up until that point.
No way. I didn't have no clue about any of this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy. I remember getting like my first check just going, it's almost what I make in a year.
No way.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It was awesome.
I didn't see any of this coming.
Me either. and so, yeah, he goes, we gotta get a lawyer. I'm like, whatever, dude. And he goes, how much going triple platinum? I had no idea what that even meant.
Yeah.
So then we sorted it all out, and those guys were super cool about it. They're just like, they're not trying to hide anything,
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, cool. And we start getting money, and we're like, should we play again? Do people even like our band? Or do they remember who we are? And they're like, yeah. So we got back together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how was that? At this point, all the past is hashed out. Are you guys still friends?
Oh, I remain friends with those guys through thick and thin.
Okay.
They're like my brothers.
Okay.
So
Did they understand why you left the band?
yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no animosity when
No.
you were leaving?
Well, there might have been, but I mean, later on in life, they realized, good call, Mike.
May you say them?
Rick ended up getting hepatitis C.
Okay.
And he struggled with that. And I think Kevin had it for a while, and he kind of overcame it. but he had gnarly liver damage from it. And it's like a silent killer, man. It's like he had it, and then he just this last year he got cancer, liver cancer, and he died. Yeah, it was gnarly. Wow. But you can't bombard your liver with that stuff.
Okay.
And
then one more thing about the song.
Yeah.
Who wrote that song? Did you guys all write it together? Or was it yours?
It was me and Reggie. Reggie was our guitarist, and I told him, I want to, we need to get a reggae song in here. I love reggae. I always loved reggae.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah. So we worked it out, and I laid down the melody and the lyrics and all this stuff, and then when it came around, I'm just like, hey, we all worked hard together. Split it 4 ways.
Oh, that was rad.
Yeah.
You didn't have to.
Nope. I could have took 50%. But they're
so
my
cool,
brothers, man. I'm not going to do
that.
that.
That's rad.
How many times did they put me on their couch? How many times did they?
No,
you know what I mean?
That's pretty rad, though.
Yeah. So
I wonder how many guys would have done that.
I just felt
That's
like
pretty cool.
I'm not going to be that guy. Yeah. So we split it. Okay. And then we got back together. And then Skunk Records helped us put out another record. No, that's called Pop Cult Vomit.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a really good record. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're more mature. The scene's different.
The scene's way different.
Now, what year is this? Do you remember?
This is like, when did 9/11 hit?
2001, 2000?
This was like 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, because we played a benefit.
So punk's kind of come back now, full circle. Now the Offspring's kind of here. You got like Green Day.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of went away for like 10 years, maybe.
Yeah. That's not surprising anybody would want to hear our music.
But like punk came back.
But it was people were down.
Guys like NoFX.
Yeah.
And like some of the like kind of made like punk's big again. Yeah. I don't know if it is today, but I still listen to it.
Oh yeah, they like Pennywise.
Pennywise is giant.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Randy, the bass player for Pennywise.
Yep.
He was like a little. He used to come over to our house all the time and hang out, and I remember him just constantly.
Okay.
Getting that bass down. He played for Falling Idols for a while. And he crashed at our house. Yeah.
So, like, okay, what other bands from Long Beach did you play with? Okay, the backtrack. Sorry, I should ask you. Like Vandals or Tender Fury.
No, we played. I don't think we ever played with TSOL. Somehow we didn't mesh, but.
You're the side from the east side. You're the west, or
I love that band. That band was great. I always go see them play.
Who TSOL?
We never got to play together. But like Shattered Faith, Saccharine Trust. Circle Jerks. We played with Circle Jerks.
Oh wow!
We went out there. Me and Kevin we're bored, and we were good friends with Roger Rogerson. He played bass for Circle Jerks.
Okay.
And he's like, "Why don't you come with us? We're going to play in San Francisco. Come and help me with my gear." I'm like, "All right." So we go up there. It's the dumbest trip ever. Me and Kevin are driving. This would be cool. It's not that cool.
Yeah.
We get there, downtown San Francisco. It looks like any other downtown.
Yeah.
We load his gear in. We're sitting on stage, drinking some beer, watch the Circle Jerks. Oh, this is cool. Gig's over. We load his stuff back in. We walk out. Whole different vibe. It's all these guys in leather hats, leather boots, and we look at them and go, they look like us. We're like, where's the punk show? Is there another punk show? And then we realize these are like gay leather gnarler guys. Yeah. We're like
you fit
250 pounds, like
busting out of the leather jacket.
We're like, let's get out of here.
Yeah. That's funny.
So we took off and drove. We didn't know anywhere we were going. We drove all. We got to like Big Sur, pulled over in somebody's driveway and fell asleep in the car.
Oh my God, that's funny. All right, so sorry, we went backwards. Okay,
yeah.
So you guys are making the new album.
Yeah, the new album. So we make the new album. I dig it.
Yep.
And we start playing. We went on like a little tour up California with Pepper before Pepper was Pepper.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was super fun. And then we had it all lined up. We were going to play at Long Beach Dub All Stars, and we're going to go across the country. I got all the time off work.
Okay.
It was going to happen.
Wow.
I was like, cool. I'm not going to have to work anymore.
The first incarnation of Long Beach Dub All Stars?
Yeah.
So it had like Eric
and Bud and everybody. Yeah, it was going to be awesome. I loved playing with those guys. It was always just a party, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
So we're all getting ready. I got the time off. We got our gig. We got our record. It's all good to go.
Yep.
And they break up.
Yeah. All right. Tour canceled.
Everything done. I'm like, oh.
Guess I have to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
And your wife was cool about it?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, go, man. Do it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But, so that whole thing fell through. I was like, come on, can't you guys get along? There's like 900 guys in the band. I could see how they couldn't get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so How'd the album do? Did it get a good reception?
Nah, I don't know. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like. Some people like. If you're Secret Hate or a band like us, like you're frozen in time. Mm-hmm. If you don't play the exact same thing that you were playing before, you suck.
Okay.
You know. So
did the music change?
But,
do you feel?
Yes.
And I've heard it.
It changed.
I've heard the new stuff too. You can tell the difference.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It changed, but I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved doing it and I loved writing it, and we went in all kinds of different directions, and it was fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it.
So it was a fun project. It wasn't like
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so then what happens then? After that?
So then after that, everything just kind of fades away. You know, those guys, everything kind of loses its luster. Kevin goes on to do his own thing. Me and Rick keep practicing, and that kind of falls apart. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, well, and then Mud, do you know Mud? Mm-mm. Mud and those guys from Belmont Shore, like, come sing with us. So that's when Glue Factory started.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we put out a little CD with those guys. That was fun. And then after a while, I was just like.
So did you know those guys before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we all kind of grew up together.
Okay. So Dave, and then Dave Heckstrom, who I actually had on the QuiverCast.
Yeah.
Did you know him before?
No, I didn't know him before, but he liked Secret Hate.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how I met him at a gig.
Okay.
And he's like super cool. He's like, hey man, what's happening? Yeah. So.
Do you ever surf with him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dave's cool.
Yeah.
He used to have a killer quiver of boards. I don't know if he still has it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole garage full.
Yeah.
Of good shape.
I know.
Different boards.
Yeah. And he like knows everything.
Doesn't look like
about
mine.
It. I'm like, let me write that. No.
That's funny. So you guys hit it off. I like Glue Factory.
Yeah.
Was Glue Factory more for fun?
Yeah.
You weren't taking it serious?
Not really. I mean, at that time I knew it just as a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Because like the one thing I can do is like easy for me is sing to a riff.
Okay.
You know, and make up my own lyrics
yeah.
But I always told Rick, like, any chance of commercial popularity just goes down the drain with me. So sorry guys.
Yeah. At a certain point, is it more about the love than money, right?
Yeah, because if you're trying to fake it, that's pretty transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see bands doing that now? Do you see?
Yeah. I see bands that are still putting out the same record that got them over. They're putting out that same record, different titles, rearrange the riffs a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's this like almost becomes formulaic.
And what do you think about that?
It's just boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you listening to now?
Now I just listen to reggae. I listen to old music, and every now and then I go, oh, wonder if I still like our old music.
Like nostalgic kind of?
Yeah.
What about like old punk or new punk or any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, I listen to mostly old punk.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't think of any new punk bands that I listen to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about, so when Sublime blew up and then Long Beach Dub All-Stars and all that. So Long Beach Dub All-Stars kind of got a new lineup and they're kind of back together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, those guys are always super fun to play with.
Do you go see shows now?
No, I haven't been to a show in forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your music like totally changed? Besides, I mean, you said you always loved reggae, so that part has never changed.
And isn't that weird?
No,
it just kind of
really.
dawned on me.
Yeah,
it's always been like right down there, kind of running low, like a keel on a boat, just kind of steering me down there below the surface.
Okay.
I always listen to reggae.
So you never like pop in the record store? I mean, there's only very few left.
Yeah.
And just check out new music?
No, not really.
Okay. Or YouTube?
Yeah.
Never go down a YouTube rabbit hole?
Yeah. Yeah. But I always end up
music.
How to replace your tub.
Okay.
Stupid stuff like that. I'll start off going, I'm going to check this band out. And next thing you know, I'm like, fix your car.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If you go like, just pick a band out.
Yeah.
And then walk away and let it play in the background.
Yeah.
An hour later, all these other bands will come up that are pretty rad.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've done that before.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite bands was PIL.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing them downtown LA too. Huge crowd. That was super fun.
Anything else about the whole punk scene in Long Beach or LA? Orange County. What was Orange County versus LA punkers? I heard there was a big difference.
There was a big difference at first, but then we all just became friends. It just became like the only huge difference was the cops.
Okay.
The Orange County cops are just gnarly.
Yeah.
Long Beach cops, like, pour your beer out, get out of here.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Party's over.
Newport cops, straight to jail, ask questions later.
I think that's totally true.
In Huntington Beach, we were practicing there, and some preppy guys upstairs were having a party or something, and, you know.
Yeah.
we went up there and we're like hanging around the keg and drinking beers. And then when the keg was gone, we all went back downstairs and we're like, hey, man, what's up with that? Like, oh, be cool, man. We didn't mean it. Next thing you know, they're like beating down our door, smashing our windows. We're in the apartment going, holy crap. Oh. Call the cops. Some of us are like climbing out the back window.
Shit. They're coming in.
And my friend Rick's like, let him in. He's got a bat.
Oh, no. That's great.
So the cops finally get there, and this big old motorcycle cop, he comes rolling in and looking at us. He goes, looks like you got you deserved. He just leaves.
Oh, okay. And on surfing, are you still surfing a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But what are you riding?
I'm riding McCabe surfboards. Sean McCabe? Yeah.
I don't know him, but I know of him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a guy. He's a good shaper.
How long have you been getting boards from him?
Quite a while now.
Okay.
Quite a while. Probably about 10 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
how'd you get on his boards?
I just knew him from Secret Hate days.
Okay.
Yeah. And
is he like an old punker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He loves fun. And I heard he was shaping. I was like, yeah, let me try one of your boards.
He's been shaping forever.
Yeah. He's like underground guy.
Yeah.
But he's really good.
Okay.
And plus, like dad bod,
Yeah.
he makes forgiving boards.
That's what I need.
That I can still rip on.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
And then where are you surfing at? You don't have to say the street. What area?
Right here.
General. All right. Right in Oceanside. Are you surfing the harbor?
North Jetty, South Jetty.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised I haven't seen you out
There's
there.
churches.
Are you doing like missions to drive?
Well, it's on the way home from work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
So
always have your
in the
boards in the car?
summertime, yeah, I always got my boards in the van.
Sick.
So if it looks like good, not too crowded, I'll head out there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Do a lot of surf.
What about any of the? What were you getting boards at before? How long have you lived in Oceanside?
Probably about 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think about
It's the closest.
Oceanside
I
changing?
told my friends, this is the closest you can get to Long Beach with waves.
See, when I moved here, it was like it reminded me of Long Beach.
Yeah.
But now it's changing.
It is changing. They're trying.
What do you think?
It'll never turn into Solana Beach. You know?
No, it won't. But it could turn into Huntington.
Oh God.
It could.
Don't say
That's
that.
how I picture it as Huntington 20 years ago. When they tore down the Golden
you're
Bear
right,
and all
you're
that.
right. God,
and
it's
Main
bumming me
Street
out.
and Wimpy's is gone.
You're right.
Remember Wimpy's?
Yeah. It was just a little dive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're right. With the
They
oil
fixed the
wells
parking
everywhere.
lot. On North Side.
I remember going to the beach to Huntington State. You just pull over in the sand dunes and you have to pay.
Okay, I don't ever remember that. But
Yeah.
okay.
And then everything got metered and they redid State Park.
Yep.
Control.
Yeah. So we're heading in a different direction
God,
for
I
sure.
hope not.
All right, you got any final words? Did we miss anything here?
I don't think
That's
so.
quite an exciting life.
Yeah, you might have to edit a lot of it. I don't know.
No.
If any of it was sequential enough. But,
No,
Yeah.
mine never are.
but yeah. Oh, one person that really does a good version of that song Johnny Butt that we wrote,
Yep.
that Sublime did, is a girl named Vana Leah. I think that's her name.
Okay. She playing like by herself, acoustic guitar or something?
Yeah. She did a tribute record to goes to a foundation called Bradley's House.
Yep.
You heard of it?
Well, I know it has to do with, I think his wife, Brad's wife,
Yeah.
has something to do with it, and maybe her son or something.
Yeah, so she did a cover of Johnny Butt. It just blew me away. I was
Okay.
like, wow, I didn't know it could sound that good.
Wow.
She's really good.
So do you get royalties off that too?
No, it was just a
It was because it was a foundation or something.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's her. Vanaliya, Vanaliya.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna totally check
She
that
did
out.
a great version of it.
That's rad.
Yeah, I was stoked when I heard it.
Well, I'm glad you made it out of the punk days.
Yeah,
in one
yeah,
piece.
All good. I'm just a boring old dude now.
And any of the bands, more questions come up.
Go
The
ahead.
bands you played with that came, like, let's say Bad Religion, became very successful
yeah.
in their realm. Any
Yeah.
other bands that you look back on, like, I can't believe they made it, or I'm stoked they made it, or something like that?
I'm stoked any of them made it because we were all grinding. No matter what we thought of each other back then, we were all grinding and we're all trying, and they
Yeah.
made it. So
did
good
you
for
guys
them.
want commercial success or not really? Because punk wasn't about commercial.
It wasn't. But as I got older and I had to face reality, I
Yeah, you
would
had to
have
pay
much
the bills.
rather played music.
Especially when you get the paycheck from the song.
Yeah.
That opens the
I
last.
was like, whoa, maybe we can do this. But it all blew up my face again.
Rad. All right.
But yeah, like David Quackenbush, he went on to, with the Vandals.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was cool. I mean, the Vandals were, back in the day, they were kind of a mess, but they were always fun to watch. But
Yeah.
And then they got super tight. Same thing with the Germs. The Germs are like the worst band live ever.
Really? Okay.
And then you hear the record and you're like, that's what he's saying? Oh my God. Just super tight. And the lyrics are amazing. I'm like,
that's funny.
And then when you go see him live, he's like chewing on electric cables, just like, ah.
Okay. What about Suicidal? Did you like watching them?
No, they played what we call the forbidden beat, which is pop, 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 pop. It's like, it was like pop, 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 pop.
Okay.
And we never liked that. I always told Rick, don't play the forbidden beat.
Thank you so much for joining the QuiverCast.
Oh,
Thanks,
you for
Mike.
coming
It was
out,
so
man.
fun.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, this is Mike, and we're out of here. All right, see you guys. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Please follow us on Instagram and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Give us 5 stars if you listen to us on Apple. And do me a favor and tell a friend that QuiverCast is back. I'd like to thank Blue Factory and Dave Hegstrom for the music. And I'll see you all in the lineup. Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.